Wednesday. I am so excited. I've been watching the chat. My podcast sisters are here, Haley and Rachel. Kelly, who has been with the channel for a while. Todd and Alan tuning in from the Fox and Skull recording space, rehearsal space, everything space. Um, Hi. So tonight is a big night, guys. We've not had a night like this before. And I'm so excited. So I'm going to try to temper myself. Um, this is a non alcoholic beverage. It is just grapefruit soda tonight. Um, so, what is tonight? Why is tonight such a big deal? Um, I'm going to play just a touch because we almost had some technical, like major technical difficulties, but I think we're back to good. So, those of you that are new, hi. Thank you so much for joining us. Please say hello in the chat if you have not yet, because I like saying hello to you. And that's my actual sister. Karen is my actual sister. And I'm so happy you're here. So, yes, why is tonight big? What is tonight? Hi, Mama Holly. Um, what do we do here? So, this channel officially got started back in 2020 when the world shut down. I was, thank you. Oh my, Billy, thank you. Karen got me this because she is an original supporter of the show. But yeah, when the world shut down, I was in the first weekend of a play that was so great. It's called I Hate Hamlet. And if you haven't seen it, look it up. It's adorable and so funny. I got to play Felicia. So of course there was the whole bye Felicia every time rehearsal ended. And I was also supposed to be my first leading film role. So I was bummed, as everybody else was bummed, and trying to figure out what we were going to do. And I needed an outlet. And we had Facebook and YouTube and a laptop and books. I'll show you guys. Do you guys want to see the rest of the studio? See what it looks like in here? Books and books and books. Oh, yeah. That's John Cleese right there. I met him at Comic-Con, and it was like one of the greatest moments of my life. So yeah, we had books, and I love to read, and I said, okay. So we started with Edgar Allan Poe afternoons on Saturdays, me sitting outside, or if the weather was not cooperating, setting up, and lots of Poe. There's always lots of Poe. There will always be lots of Poe. Yeah, so we did this for a while through Christmas of that year, maybe a touch past. And then we moved and stuff kind of got pushed back. And then I had some people behind the scenes. Everybody loves behind the scenes. There were a couple of people in my corner who are always in my corner who said, if you miss this, do this. And so we've been doing it for almost a year and a half again, every Wednesday. And the Wednesdays that we can't do it live, we do it recorded. So we've not missed a Wednesday in a year and a half. And we have something really special tonight. So a lot of you, we do have a lot of audience crossover tonight, which is very cool. A lot of you that are new here know who I am from the other podcast that I do with my podcast sisters, Rachel and Haley, called the Hallowed Hearth podcast. And we've been doing that for almost a year now. I might be a little exaggerating. We've been doing it for a while now together, but it feels like we've known each other for a really long time. So we joke and say that we definitely knew each other in another life or a few other lives. So something brought us together. The universe said, you guys have to do some stuff. And we met A.G. Mock. And he lives near Rachel now, which is so cool because we get to, they've been able to meet a few times. We're trying to make the world our little oyster. So we are getting to work exclusively with AG on some literary stuffs, including tonight. So I know I told you guys about this on the socials. I know AG talked about this on the socials. Last Thursday, he revealed, unveiled, showed to the world the cover art for his new book, What Big Lies You Have, and burned at the stake together. Balenciaga. Sorry, that is a very specific reference. Some people know. Some people in this chat will know that. But the book will release in September 22nd, I believe, which is Equinox Day. I think it falls exactly on the 22nd this year, but it is at least Equinox week. Yeah, so it's available for pre-order, so please make sure that you do that. Kindle Unlimited, I believe, you can do it there. You can pre-order the paperback, but what we have for you tonight is something that AG has given us. You get to do it one time only, and he has not done this with other people before. So we have chapter 1 of what big lies you have. We have chapter 1. It's right here. It's in my hand. So we are going to read that tonight to get you guys in the mood for the book release. You may see more AG stuff here. You will definitely see more AG stuff over on the Hearth, and that is Thursday nights at 9 o'clock. So you can hang out with me on Wednesdays. You can head over there on Thursdays at 9, and we will just become best friends, and it'll be great. But I wish I could do this with an English accent, and I have one, but it's not, I don't think it's going to give the story the gravity that it needs. It is way better suited for some of our comedic stories. I think I attempted one. Do you guys remember if I attempted one in our Irish fairy tales? I think I might have just thought about it, but I didn't actually do it. I don't know. We did. If you go back to the old videos, you will find me affecting a British accent. It's not terrible, but I really want this to be good for you guys. So when we are finished with that, we have our book that we were gifted, A Stroke of the Pen. That's by words for you guys. But it is Terry Pratchett, A Stroke of the Pen, The Lost Stories. So we're going to read one out there to fill out our hour tonight. But thank you guys again for being here. If you've just jumped on, please say hello. And we will get started with chapter 1 of What Big Lies You Have. What did you just say? A flush of heat rises to my cheeks as if I already sensed the bombshell this guy is about to drop on my life. Clamping the handset of my old rotary phone between shoulder and chin, I twirl its long spiral cord around the fingers of one hand while rustling through my handbag with the other. What I'm looking for, I couldn't tell you. Once again, Miss Briggs, this is Martin Culbreth, BBC News. I was wondering if you might care to comment on reports coming out of American Telly earlier today. BBC. Reports? American Telly? This has to be a joke and not a very clever one. Definitely not one I have time for. It's got to be someone from the newspaper where I work. For a start, the accent is laughable. More a caricature of a posh marble mouthed royal than a hard hitting BBC news reporter. Think Alan Rickman as Severus Snape and Harry Potter to, throw in some absurdly drawn out vowels and you'll be getting close. Whoever it is, really is. I see AG. Sorry. Whoever it is, really is. I'm sure they've been recruited by Gabriella, my girlfriend of 3 years, and a notorious celebrator. There's little Gabby enjoys more than marking even the most mundane of occasions in spectacularly elaborate fashion. From silly pranks to bucket list trips, she's done it all, and in the most sublime manner. So, why then do I take the bait? I wish I knew. Miss Briggs, the marble mouthed voice repeats across the static filled line, apparently for the third time, though it's the first I've actually heard. Do you have a comment? I do not. At least, not until I've scrutinized my old school wall calendars to see what this latest event of Gabby's might be. November's 30 boxes are a spider web of scribbles uh, covered in a melange of sticky notes in a garish array of colors. Grocery lists, errands I've been putting off, bills yet to be paid, and lest we forget, the obligatory doctor's appointments no one tells you will be just another of life's routines after 40. There's something noted in every single day, several things in most. Every day that is, except one, Guy Fawkes Day. Today, November 5th, is a blindingly empty box, and the floor of my stomach drops, my late lunch and half a glass of Chardonnay becoming a sludge of wriggling worms. While the rest of the UK gathers to watch fireworks or on bonfires, I'll be doing my best to pretend this day means absolutely nothing to me. All the while having to act like I actually give a shite about having dinner with Liam and Lindy. Good luck with that, Emily. Okay, I surrender, trying to keep it light despite the quiver creeping into my voice. If I don't play long, I'll be the one to blame for ruining whatever ridiculous milestone Gabby is commemorating this time. I'll bite. Let me guess. The BBC wants my take on the new American president's foreign affairs policies. Silence. A slight crackle. A deep breath before Marble Mouth clears his throat. Pardon? I shake my head, quickly losing patience for whatever kind of tired joke this is meant to be. Sorry, love, I went off script and threw you off your spiel. Go on then, get to the punchline. What's Gabby trying to set me up with this time? Another moment's silence. Then, as matter of factly as if he were reporting a traffic jam on the A1 motorway, Marblemouth says, a woman has surfaced who's claiming to be Rosalie Tanner. Before the name has even finished rolling off his velvety smooth tongue, the air is sucked from my lungs. Rosie Tanner. My childhood best friend who went missing on Guy Fawkes Day 28 years ago. Rosie Tanner. Excuse me. Whose favorite hoodie was the billowing red shawl her grandmother had sewn for her 13th birthday from yards of deep crimson fabric. Rosie Tanner. Famous worldwide within days of her disappearance, though no longer referred to by name, but little known, but known forevermore as Little Red Riding Hood, Ms. Briggs. A woman in the town of, pardon me, allow me to confirm it. Yes, right. Oh, here it is. A woman from Savannah in the American state of Georgia is claiming that she is, in fact, your long lost friend. Marblemouth inserts an overly pregnant pause to gauge my reaction, and I don't disappoint. I'm sure this very moment will be quoted in tonight's broadcasts across Britain. When asked, Miss Briggs failed to comment, but this reporter can say there was an audible gasp upon hearing the news. My handbag tumbles to the floor, its contents scattering. Miss Briggs, who is this? A sigh of growing impatience. As I've said several times now, Miss Briggs, this is Martin Culbreth, BBC News. I know this must be a shock for you. However, if you can gather your thoughts, I would very much like to hear them on this map. I hang up the phone. Slam it, more like. The handset ricochets off the cradle in the most satisfying manner, the mechanical bell in the phone's housing confirming this with a jarring clang. Skating from my view, I do nothing to retrieve it as my breaths come fast and shallow, the room beginning to swim. Steadying myself, I latch onto the threadbare arm of the sofa in case I pass out. Breathe, Emily. Just breathe. Collapsing onto the sofa's equally threadbare seat, I stare at the clock on the opposite wall, only to find that its edges have become oddly wavy, like I'm viewing it underwater. I squeeze my eyes shut, then reopen them to focus on its swinging pendulum, marking each second with the same certain cadence by which a heart beats. I try my best to make my breathing match. In and out. In and out. I don't know how much time passes until I'm no longer hyperventilating. Although my breaths are far from mirroring the steady, certain rhythm of the ticking clock, at least they've settled to the point where it no longer appears to be melting before my eyes, like something in a Dali painting. In my left ear, my pulse has become a furious, deafening whoosh. From somewhere in this near hypnotic haze, an ultra high pitched bip 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 has begun to wheedle its way through the brown noise. Like the buzzing of a mosquito you can't quite locate, I find myself plucked from the pendulum's mesmerizing beat and tilting my head from one side to the other as though I'm trying to fend off swimmer's ear. Then I remember the phone. British Telecom is alerting me that I haven't replaced the handset, and the bip, bip, bip grows louder until I'm forced to get on all fours. Tugging on the phone spiral cord, it comes springing out from under the sofa so fast it nearly clouts me in the face, and I curse this day that started bad and only went downhill from there. Little do I know just how bad it's about to get. No sooner have I returned the handset to its cradle than the phone jars back to life with a clang, and my chest clenches with such intensity it's painful. I'm gonna have to yell. Get stuffed! I scream as I snatch the handset back up to my face, holding it upside down like it's a microphone and shouting into the mouthpiece. Just leave me the fuck alone! Silence. More crackles. The sound like watery static. Then a far away, faint, unmistakable voice. Emily? And my racing heart all but stops dead. Em? The disembodied voice repeats. It's me. Rising in chicken bumps, my skin goes cold. I know that voice. But it can't be. It's me, Emily. Rose. Rosie Tanner. Electric panic spears my chest, driving through my shoulder blades. I feel its pronged spikes as surely as if I've been struck by a cattle prod. It's Rosie, Em, the voice insists. I'm here. I'm alive. I haven't heard that voice for a quarter century, but I recognize it as easily as if it's been no more than a quarter hour. As uncommonly raspy as it is melodic, it sounds just the same as it did when we were 13 years old, bounding our way through the woods to Scarborough Fair. But that's impossible. Rosie is dead and gone. I should know. Because I'm the one who took her life. And that's the end of chapter 1. Oh my god, you guys, we all have to pre-order this. Leave this tab open a new tab. We'll talk about this. Go pre-order the book. Wow. Oh. I need more. I need more. I need more. Oh. Oh, Emily. AG, thank you so much. That is the premiere of chapter 1, guys. I know! Ah! D! Did you guys like it? I loved it. I loved it. I need more. I'm sorry. Listen, we are very, very fortunate that we now. It's like we had 8 or 9 weeks. Somebody do the math on a calendar. Good. Oh my God. I hope you guys had really the same reactions to it that I was. Thank you, AG. I love reading out loud. I always have. This is a terrible thing, but if I liked other people's kids more, I probably would have become like a school librarian just so I could have reading corner. But I have reading corner now. I have reading corner with you guys. And this is so much. Yeah. That last sentence, I know. So I read cold. For those of you guys that are new, I read cold. So all I did today was make sure that every page printed off. So I'm looking at it and I read the last 3 lines. And I quick had to get on with the girls, be like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Because yeah. Oh. Does anybody else feel like they just took a swipe out of the brownie batter bowl, but your mom's taking the brownies to church for a potluck so you don't get one? I need the rest of this book. And I'm going to pout and be a baby about it. Oh. Okay. Guys. We gave the author goosebumps. We gave the author goosebumps. I'm going to take a minute and just we'll have a coffee talk moment. Would anyone like to put a topic to discuss in the chat? Oh, sorry. It's not the first time I've cried on this channel. I do not have brownies. Oh, but okay. Newbies, sorry. Tangents happen a lot. So I finally got to go to Jungle Gyms just outside of Cincinnati on Saturday. Um, please pre-order now. The more early purchases, the more Amazon pushes the book out to other readers. Please, please, please go pre-order. Go pre-order. Um, sorry, tangent there too. But they sell just cereal marshmallows. So I got some for Dalton, and they're delicious. They also sell just pickle juice. It's probably true. Uh, if you guys have ever kind of wondered what authentic Katie is, it's right here on this channel. It is finding these stories, and we've cried through a lot of them. But that's what happens when you read cold. And for you new folks, now we need more. We need it now. I do still have the marshmallows now. But I got actually this huge jar of pickle juice. Just pickle juice. That's so much cool stuff. They have a Sherwood Forest almost. They have Robin. They have Maid Marian. And I'm gonna post pictures. Oh, sweet. Sweet. Um, yeah, tell me where you guys are watching from because I know AG has folks that love him everywhere. Um, what big lies you have, right? How cool is that? So yeah. Do you guys wanna read another story? I love books. Can't believe there's people out there that don't ever read. But you know what? If you didn't find some sort of comfort or joy or solace or escape from books when you were little, it's rough. Um, some of you guys know that I worked in juvenile West Virginia, New Jersey, we got Ohio. Yeah, Ashley loves pickle juice. I used to have to tell her she was not allowed to pour out more juice than there were pickles in the jar. Like, make sure they stay covered. Um, it's a weird rule. Like when Katie reads to me. Um, but a couple years ago, when I was trying to find my footing, I worked in juvenile detention. And the biggest reward I could give the kids was um, okay, so today for silent reading, it's not going to be really silent reading. I'm going to read to you guys. And teenage boys would stop to be read to. You guys are going to make me feel so good tonight. I'm not going to be able to sleep. But yeah, I mean, people love to be read to, and we all have favorite short stories. I'm appearing all weekend in Louisville. I would love to make it to Kentucky this weekend. I don't have any plans this week. That's not true. I wish I could be there with you guys. I need to get some of these things with you guys. But do we want to do like a classic for our second story, or do we want to try something? I don't know any Terry Pratchett, I don't think. So Wendy loaned us this book. Um, but yeah, apparently these are stories of hers that like were not published beforehand and got put into a little archivey. Um, but yeah, we got a little. I'm so glad you guys are all like getting me to each other. Maybe I should try not to go anywhere this weekend. I'm sure this is just a sinus infection or something of the like. But the story, sorry, all over the place again. The story I had bookmarked in here is called Dragon Quest because beyond the corvids that I cannot get enough of, I do love dragons, and I love old school dragons, um, like fairy tale dragons. Don't get me wrong, like Game of Thrones dragons are cool, and the Harry Potter dragons are cool because they're dragons. But I love the old school stuff and like the old folk tales that have dragons and stuff in them. So, um, we will just read this one. Yeah, and listen, I know, but I couldn't leave you guys hanging and do it second. That would be so mean. It would be so mean to be like, hey, welcome to the channel. We're going to read a random story and make you guys wait for AGs. That would be mean. If it wasn't a new audience, maybe. But you guys were here for AG and for all of us to work together. And I'm so excited. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming. I can feel it in my bones. Okay, if y'all see the Hansons in the chat, just go with it. Just go with it. We love them. I'm still a little shook too, like, not gonna lie. There's a big part of me that just wants to like turn on music and dance around right now. So that'll be happening when we are finished. Because my supper is still waiting for me. So I'll probably be dancing around my house eating grilled chicken. Why not? But we will continue on. Before we go anywhere else, just in case AG needs to go be amazing. Thank you again, AG. Thank you. Tonight was huge. And I am going to be eternally grateful for this. So thank you for sharing your story with us. So there are cute little things. So I will read those because they're great. A very long time ago, there was the little hilly kingdom of Grig. In it lived about 1,000 people. Oh, sorry, Grig. It's probably buried under the sea by now. In it lived about 1,000 people and 5,000 goats. And it was ruled, if that's a word, all things considered, by King Griddlebone the Quite Good. His father was King Griddlebone the Good, but he wasn't so good as his father. One Sunday morning, he was sitting up in bed eating an egg when about a dozen page boys trooped in. In those days, of course, there were no newspapers, so the page boys had to remember everything that was going on so that they could tell the king. We got a pre-order in the chat. Yeah, we do. We got a pre-order in the chat. I'm going to holler it every time. It's going to be like dinging a bell. Do I have a bell? I have a bell. I don't know. My microphone probably won't like a bell. Dragons invade the crumbling castle area, shouted the first page. This was the headline. And then he said in an ordinary voice, for full details, here page 3. King Griddlebone dropped his spoon in amazement. Dragons? There hadn't been a dragon in the kingdom for years. After page 3 had told the whole awful story, page 4 added that people were expecting the king to do something about it. Throw them out and give them a penny each, said the king to the butler. Then call out my knights. Later that morning, he went out into the courtyard and said, Now then, men, I want to volunteer. Then he adjusted his spectacles. The only other person in the courtyard was a small boy wearing a suit of chainmail far too big for him. Where's everybody else? I don't know, sire. Someone said something about dragons, and everyone decided they felt far too ill to get out of bed. Except me. Aha, said the king. You're not afraid of dragons, eh? Good show. Well, I'll lend you my second best suit of armor, and perhaps you can stop these dragons from rampaging. So, a little while later, the young knight, whose name was Ralph, whistled cheerfully as he rode on a donkey over the drawbridge and disappeared over the hills. When he was out of sight of the castle, he took off his armor and hid it behind a hedge because it squeaked and it was too hot. He put on his ordinary clothes. All that day, Ralph and the donkey followed the winding lane through farmland and neat woods until they reached a forest of oak trees. I don't like the look of it, said Ralph doubtfully, eyeing the shadows between the trees. Full of wolves and monsters, I shouldn't wonder, agreed the donkey. I didn't know you could talk, said Ralph. Fancy that, by St. Ag. I never heard a donkey talk before. The donkey waggled his ears. By and large, what's the donkey got to talk about? He said, and trotted toward the wood. They hadn't gone more than a few yards when a great big knight in black armor galloped up to them on a fiery black horse. Halt in the name of Friday night, by Saint Cernac, he bellowed. All right, but is this the way to Crumbling Castle? Asked Ralph. The Black Knight opened his visor and said in a quite ordinary voice, Well, yes, it is, actually. Then the visor was snapped back, and he bellowed, But you'll have to fight me first, by St. Magnus. The black horse charged forward while Ralph tugged and tried to get his rusty sword to leave its old leather scabbard. He needn't have bothered, because after about 3 gallops, the Black Knight fell off his horse anyway and landed with a hey-ho rumble-o on the head. Yes, please like, share, and subscribe. We do this every week. There was silence for a moment, and then a small door in the back of the armor opened, and Ralph saw that the Friday Knight was a very small man indeed. Sorry, said the knight. Can I try again? Certainly not, said Ralph. I've won, because you've fallen down first. Quite true. Rule 7, Section 2A, the Manual of Chivalry, agreed the donkey. Ralph looked a bit surprised, but that was nothing compared to the expression on the other knight's face. I shall call you Fortnite, because I fought you, said Ralph. There was a great deal of clanking as Fortnite clambered out of his armor, and then the two of them went on towards Crumbling Castle. After a while, they became quite friendly, because Fortnite was really rather jolly and knew lots of jokes and could sing quite well too. Next morning, they came across a wizard sitting on a milestone reading a heavy book. He wore the normal wizard's uniform, long white beard, pointed hat, sort of nightdress covered in Kabbalistic symbols, and long floppy boots, which he had taken off to reveal quite unmagical red socks. Oh no, they're magical. Excuse me, sir, said Ralph, because wizards are fairly unpredictable. Is this the way to Crumbling Castle? Oh, yes, by St. Transome. But I wonder if you could help me with this little problem. He said his name was Pilgarlic, and he was sitting by the road because his magical 7 league boots had broken down. Magic boots were handy. You could walk miles in them without getting tired, but these needed a bit of attention. So they gathered round. Since Fortnite knew a bit about mechanics and Pilgarlic knew less than a bit about magic, they managed to get one boot working. It'll only be a 3.5 league boot now, said Fortnite. You'll have to hop. Pilgarlic was very grateful and decided to join them on their adventure. Day by day, the land around them grew grimmer and grimmer. Foggy mountains loomed up on either side of them. Gray clouds covered the sun, and a cold wind sprang up. They plodded on and came to a cave hidden in a clump of thorn bushes. We can do with fire, said Ralph. A mere nothing, said Pilgarlic, and produced in quick succession a small hat, a bucket handle, a word that has no vowels, without feathers, a banana, and a brass candlestick. Then he sighed and took a box of matches out of his hat. After a small meal, they dozed off while the fire collapsed into a heap of gray ashes. Crack! Went a stick in the bushes. Fortnite woke up. Something was creeping toward them. It seemed to have very large feet. Very large feet. An owl hooted, thought better of it halfway through, and changed it into a cough. Yield by St. Caradoc, said Fortnite, picking up his sword and tripping over Pilgarlic. In an instant, there was total confusion. Everyone grabbed a sword and rushed into the bushes. Excuse me. Where it was so dark, they kept walking into each other and treading on thorns. I've got it, shouted Fortnite and jumped onto something. Me, mumbled Pilgarlic from the leaf mold. While all this was going on, something very small crept out of the bushes and began to warm itself by the fire. Then it sniffed at Pilgarlic's knapsack and ate his tomorrow's breakfast. Look, there it is, shouted Ralph as they stumbled out of the bushes. It's a dragon! It's a very weeny one, said Fortnite doubtfully. It was about the size of a kettle and green, and had very large feet. It looked up at them, sniffed a bit, and began to cry. Perhaps my breakfast didn't agree with it, muttered Pilgarlic, looking at his rucksack. Well, what shall we do with it? It doesn't look very dangerous, even if it is a dragon, said Ralph. Has it lost its mommy, then? Cooed Fortnite, getting down on his hands and knees and smiling at it. It hurriedly backed away and breathed some smoke at him. Fortnite wasn't very good with children. Finally, they made it a bed in the kettle, put the lid on, and went back to sleep. When they set out next morning, Pilgarlic carried the kettle on his back. After a while, the lid opened, and the baby dragon stared out. I want a baby dragon. Sorry, back to the story. This isn't really dragon country, observed Ralph. It must have got lost, said Fortnite. It's the green variety, said Pilgarlic. They grow to be 7 meters high, and then they go around roaring, rampaging, setting fire to people's houses, and generally doing wicked deeds. What sort of wicked deeds? Asked Ralph. Well, I don't really know. Walking on the grass or squeezing toothpaste tubes in the middle, I suppose. That afternoon, they came to Crumbling Castle. It was built on a low hill and surrounded by a little town. And in front of the town was a large moat the local people had made by damming up the stream. There was no sign of anybody, not even a dragon. Excuse me. They plucked up the courage to knock at the big black door. No one in, said Fortnite as the echoes died away. Let's go by Saint Triton. Saint Triton. You have a try, said Ralph to Pilgarlic. Don't you know any opening spells? Certainly, said the wizard. Drafgresh ship of Statananing, Miligrashi, Hotel, I command thee to open in the name of Brexolotl. The door turned a soft pink color. Ralph prodded it, then bit off a bit and tasted it. Pink meringue, he said. My word, dash tasty door, said Fortnite after they had eaten their way through. The courtyard was silent. I don't like this. Yeah, yeah. Can I show it to you guys? Oh, it'll be backwards. You won't be able to see it. It was like 40 letters. I don't know. It's all little tiny too. I need glasses. I think I said that before. Sorry. The courtyard was silent. I don't like this much, said Ralph. I keep getting a feeling something is going to jump out on us. That's very nice, said Pilgarlic in a withering tone of voice. His nerves were getting rather frayed. It's all right, said Ralph. Dragons are seldom bigger than the average house or hotter than the average furnace. So come back, he added, treading on the wizard's cloak as he tried to run away. Just then, a large green dragon crawled around the corner and raised its eyebrows when it saw them. Good morning, it said, which immediately gave our heroes a bit of a problem, because it's difficult to fight a polite dragon. Well, good morning, said Ralph. Excuse me, are you one of the dragons that's been rampaging around and eating people? Only one or two of the more unpleasant ones, said the dragon. A couple of other dragons wandered up, and one of them said, I suppose you are the gallant heroes who have come to vanquish us. More or less, said Ralph. Where are the people? Most of them are hiding in the mountains, the beasts. Why, what have they done? Asked Pilgarlic, eyeing the dragon's teeth. They kidnapped the dragon prince, said the first dragon. My son. That's why we're teaching them a lesson. Ralph said thoughtfully, was he about a foot high? Big feet? And a tendency to eat other people's breakfasts, said Pilgarlic. And Fortnite reached into the kettle and pulled out the dragon. We found him lost, miles away, said Ralph. And that about ended it. The dragons were so overjoyed at having the baby back, they decided to leave right away, although they gave the people of Crumbling Castle several caskets of dragon treasure to make up for the inconvenience. Of course, there wasn't much they could do about the people they had eaten, but by and large, they had been unpopular anyway, so no one minded very much. Well, well, an adventure with hardly any fighting, said Ralph as the three left the castle the next day. Everyone cheered as they passed through the gates. I'd have shown the dragons a thing or two if there had been, growled Fortnite and tripped over his sword. They were still laughing when they disappeared over the hill. So, yeah. So we started our night, a juicy bit of deliciousness, and we ended with a cute little palate cleanser. So that's kind of the way this show goes. I'm up for whatever people would like to suggest. There is a book that we have not gotten into yet. And I don't know why I'm hesitant to. Okay. I don't want to just like completely blind you guys. So I have this book that was also a gift to us. And it's H.P. Lovecraft. I don't think I've read any of his stuff. And I don't know why as I say, I don't know why I've never read it. I don't know why I am hesitant to read it. Um, yeah, I'm just not sure. So this is all tales of horror in this specific collection. And it's so cool. Like the cover's neat and there are some like really great illustrations in here. I don't know. I don't know. I just got a weird feeling like looking at it. I don't know. Anyway, we've like diverted way far away from where we started. Um, but there's still folks here. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. And then in the comments or on any of my socials or whatnot, please send me your favorite short stories. That is, if we meet in person and I don't already know, I might ask you what your favorite short story is. Because nobody can ever just say the title. You can't do it. You always say what the story is and why you love it. If you love a short story, you will give a reason. So with that, we have spent almost a full hour together. This was an amazing night for me. I hope you guys have had a great time. Please jump back onto YouTube tomorrow night to watch the Hallowed Hearth podcast. Please make sure that you subscribed here so that you can be with us next week. If there are enough people who request it, I will pull an H.P. Lovecraft story. Was that a picture of a house inside a barn? I think so. Let me see if I can get back to it. Because it was not bookmarked. I'm just looking to see. There's just so much cool stuff in here. Um, the Dunwich Horror? Hey, Haley, what's that? All right, kids. It's been 47 years. I'm going to have to get out of my comfort zone. How long? But I'm going to go eat some dinner. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you subscribe so that we can hang out again next Wednesday. And yeah, thank you again to AG if you're still here for sharing with us. I know, Haley, I um yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me again. I will see you next week. I think you are amazing. I love you.